Major Daniel Crawford adjusted his uniform as he stepped off the military transport plane, the familiar weight of his duffel bag pressing against his shoulder. After 6 months deployed in the Middle East, he was finally home. The fluorescent lights of the civilian terminal felt harsh after weeks under the desert sun, but nothing could dampen the anticipation coursing through his veins. He was 3 days early, a surprise he'd been planning for weeks. Sarah didn't know he was coming. He'd kept it secret, imagining her face when he walked through their front door unannounced. They'd been married for 8 years, and despite the strain of multiple deployments, he believed their love remained strong. Her emails had been frequent, filled with mundane details about her work at the hospital and their 2 kids staying with her mother for the week. She'd written just yesterday about how much she missed him. Daniel made his way through the terminal, his military bearing causing civilians to step aside respectfully. Some nodded their thanks, others smiled. He acknowledged them with brief nods, his mind already home. He'd catch a cab instead of calling Sarah, maintain the surprise. Maybe stop and grab flowers from that shop near their subdivision. As he approached the main terminal junction, where multiple corridors converged near the baggage claim, he noticed a crowd had gathered near one of the coffee shops. People were staring, some whispering behind raised hands. Daniel's training kicked in automatically. Assess the situation, identify potential threats. But this didn't look dangerous, just uncomfortable. The kind of scene people couldn't help but watch. Then he saw her. Sarah stood near the entrance to the coffee shop, her distinctive auburn hair catching the light. She wore the blue dress he'd bought her last Christmas, the one she said made her feel beautiful. But she wasn't alone. A man in an expensive suit had his arms wrapped around her waist, pulling her close. And they were kissing, not a friendly peck, but a deep, passionate embrace that spoke of familiarity and intimacy. Daniel's duffel bag hit the floor with a thud that nobody heard. The world seemed to narrow to a single point, his vision tunneling until all he could see was his wife, his Sarah, in another man's arms. Her hands were in the stranger's hair, her body pressed against his without any space between them. They were oblivious to their surroundings, lost in each other. His first instinct was denial. That couldn't be Sarah. Just someone who looked like her. But then she laughed, that distinctive, melodic sound he'd fallen in love with 9 years ago, and all doubt evaporated. His hands clenched into fists at his sides, the muscles in his jaw working as he ground his teeth together. The crowd continued to grow, some people taking out their phones. Daniel registered this dimly, the tactical part of his brain noting that whatever happened next would be recorded, shared, immortalized online. His career, his reputation, his children, all of it could be destroyed by his next action. But overriding everything was a wave of pure, incandescent rage unlike anything he'd experienced in combat. This was personal. This was betrayal of the deepest kind. While he'd been dodging IEDs and leading his men through hostile territory, trusting that his home front was secure, she'd been doing this. How long? How many times? Was this why she'd suggested the kids stay with her mother? The man broke the kiss, murmuring something that made Sarah giggle. She touched his face tenderly, intimately, and Daniel felt something break inside his chest. That gesture, that simple, affectionate touch, she'd done that to him countless times. It was their gesture, their intimacy, and she was giving it away to a stranger in a $2,000 suit. Daniel took a step forward, then another. His training screamed at him to maintain control, to think strategically, to consider consequences. But his heart, his pride, his sense of honor and justice demanded satisfaction. The crowd parted before him like the Red Sea, sensing the danger radiating from the decorated soldier approaching with deadly purpose. Sarah still hadn't seen him. Neither had her lover. That was about to change. Daniel's boots made deliberate sounds against the polished terminal floor, measured, controlled, each step a countdown. The crowd's murmurs died as people recognized the storm approaching. Some tried to warn Sarah with their stares, but she remained blissfully unaware, laughing at something her companion whispered. He was 10 feet away when the man finally noticed him. The stranger's eyes widened, his hand instinctively moving to Sarah's arm as if to protect her. From what? He didn't yet understand. Sarah. Daniel's voice cut through the ambient noise of the airport like a blade, not loud, but commanding. The tone he used with subordinates who'd crossed a line. She froze. He watched the color drain from her face as she turned, her hand flying to her mouth in horror. Daniel, you're not supposed to, you said next week. Clearly. The single word carried the weight of 6 months' worth of trust shattered into fragments. His eyes moved to the man, cataloging details automatically. Late 30s, expensive clothes, wedding ring conspicuously absent but a tan line visible. Who's this? The man stepped forward, attempting to put himself between Daniel and Sarah. Brave or stupid, Daniel hadn't decided which. Listen, I don't know who you are, but... Major Daniel Crawford, United States Army. That woman you were kissing is my wife. Mother of my 2 children. The woman I've spent the last 6 months fighting for, thinking about, missing every single day while dodging bullets in a sandbox halfway around the world. His voice remained steady, but his fists were shaking now. So I'll ask again, and I suggest you answer carefully. Who the hell are you? Sarah found her voice, though it trembled. Daniel, please, not here. Let's go somewhere private. Private? Daniel's laugh was bitter, harsh. Like you and him have been private? How long, Sarah? How many business trips while I was deployed? How many times did you tuck our kids into bed and then sneak out to be with him? You don't understand, she started, reaching toward him. Don't touch me. The words came out low, dangerous. She pulled back as if burned. Answer the question. How long? The man cleared his throat, attempting authority he didn't possess in this situation. Look, soldier boy, maybe if you'd been around more instead of playing hero overseas, your wife wouldn't have needed. He didn't see Daniel move. Few people did when the major made his decision. One moment they were 3 feet apart, the next Daniel had the man's expensive collar twisted in his fist, forcing him up onto his toes. The crowd gasped collectively. Finish that sentence, Daniel said quietly, his face inches from the other man's. Please. Give me one more reason. Daniel, stop. Sarah grabbed his arm, trying to pull him back. You're making a scene. He released the man with a shove that sent him stumbling backward. I'm making a scene. Daniel turned to face his wife fully for the first time, and she flinched at what she saw in his eyes. I come home early to surprise my wife, and I find her in another man's arms, and I'm making a scene. It's not what you think, Sarah said, the weakest defense in the history of infidelity. Then explain it. Daniel crossed his arms, his parade rest stance somehow more threatening than aggression. Explain how that wasn't what I thought it was. Explain it to me and to all these people with their phones out. Explain it so our kids can understand when they see it online. Go ahead. I'm listening. Sarah's eyes darted around, finally noticing the crowd, the phones, the dozens of witnesses. Her face crumbled. Daniel, please. His name's Marcus Hoffman, the man interrupted, having recovered his composure if not his dignity. He straightened his suit jacket. And Sarah and I have been seeing each other for 4 months. We work together at the hospital. She's an incredible woman who deserves better than an absent husband who cares more about playing soldier than his marriage. The silence that followed was absolute. Even the ambient airport noise seemed to fade. Daniel stared at the man who'd just confirmed his worst fear with casual indifference, as if destroying a marriage was just another accomplishment to list on a resume. For months, Daniel repeated softly. Since March. Since right after I deployed. He looked at Sarah, searching for denial, for explanation, for anything that might make this hurt less. The emails. The video calls with the kids. The care packages. The nights you cried and said you missed me. All of it while you were with him. Tears streamed down Sarah's face, but Daniel felt nothing. No sympathy, no urge to comfort. Just a hollow ache where his heart used to be. I did miss you, she whispered. But you're never here, Daniel. Even when you're home, you're not really here. Marcus listens to me. He's present. He's also married. An elderly woman in the crowd interjected loudly. I know your wife, Marcus Hoffman. She shops at my boutique downtown. The revelation hit like a grenade in an enclosed space. Marcus's face went from confident to panicked in an instant, his eyes darting to the woman who'd spoken. Sarah turned to him, shock evident even through her tears. "You're married." Her voice barely rose above a whisper, but in the deadly quiet that had fallen over the terminal, everyone heard. Marcus held up his hands defensively. "Sarah, let me explain." "Oh, this is rich." Daniel's laugh held no humor. "You're lecturing me about being an absent husband while cheating on your own wife. Tell me, Marcus, where does she think you are right now? Business trip? Working late?" He took a step closer, his military bearing making him seem to tower over the other man despite being only an inch taller. "Does she know you're at the airport, planning to fly somewhere with my wife?" Sarah's hand went to her throat, her face cycling through emotions: betrayal, horror, realization. "You said you were divorced. You said the papers were final in January." Her voice grew stronger, anger creeping in. "You said you were free." "They will be," Marcus backtracked quickly. "The lawyers are just finalizing." "Liar." Sarah's palm connected with his cheek in a crack that echoed through the terminal. Phones captured every second. "You lied to me. About everything. Your apartment, that's a hotel, isn't it? The late meetings? You were going home to her." Daniel watched his wife's world collapse the way his had minutes earlier, and he felt no satisfaction. Just exhaustion. Just a deep, bone-weary tiredness that made his 6 months in the desert seem like a vacation in comparison. "So let me make sure I understand this correctly." An authoritative voice cut through the chaos. A woman in a TSA uniform had pushed through the crowd, her supervisor badge visible. "We have adultery, public disturbance, and from what I'm hearing, potentially fraudulent behavior. Sir," she addressed Daniel, "I'm going to need you to step back and calm down." "I am calm," Daniel said, and it was true. The initial rage had burned through him like a wildfire, leaving behind cold ash. "I haven't laid a hand on anyone. I've made no threats. I'm simply standing here, learning that my wife of 8 years has been having an affair with a married man while I was serving overseas." The TSA supervisor's expression softened slightly. "I understand this is difficult, but we can't have this disruption continuing in the terminal. I'll need all 3 of you to come with me to security." Actually, another voice chimed in, a man in an airport security uniform holding up his phone. "I've been recording this for the last 5 minutes. The soldier hasn't done anything wrong. He didn't start this, and he's maintained his composure despite extreme provocation." "I got it from the beginning," a teenage boy added, holding up his own phone. "It's already got like 1,000 views. #military major betrayed is trending." Sarah made a small, wounded sound. "Oh God. This is online? Everyone's going to see." "Consequences, Sarah." Daniel's voice was flat. "Actions have consequences. You made choices. Multiple choices, over 4 months. Every time you texted him instead of me. Every time you lied to our children about where you were going. Every time you put on that dress, my gift, to meet him." He paused, something occurring to him. "Where were you going?" "Just now. With the suitcases." He'd only just noticed them, 2 bags beside the coffee shop entrance, packed and ready. Marcus grabbed one of the bags, backing away. "This doesn't concern you anymore." "The hell it doesn't." Daniel's control finally cracked at the edges. "Those are my wife's bags. You were taking her somewhere." "Where?" "Bahamas," Sarah said quietly, her voice dead. "A week. The kids were with my mother. You were supposed to be deployed until next Tuesday. We thought." She trailed off, the futility of the situation apparent even to her. "You thought you'd gotten away with it." Daniel nodded slowly. "You thought you'd have your little vacation, come back tanned and happy, and I'd never know. You'd kiss me at this same airport next week, fresh from his bed, and I'd believe everything was fine." He looked at the gathered crowd, at the phone still recording, at the TSA supervisor waiting for someone to make a decision that would force her hand. Then he looked back at Sarah, really looked at her, trying to find the woman he'd married, the mother of his children, his partner through multiple deployments and the everyday challenges of military life. She wasn't there. Maybe she'd never been who he thought she was. "Keep the tickets," Daniel said finally. "Both of you. Go to the Bahamas. Enjoy the trip. I'm sure Marcus's wife will love seeing the photos when this goes viral." He turned to leave, then stopped. "I'll file for divorce next week. My lawyer will contact you. Don't come home. Stay at your mother's or a hotel or with him, I don't care. But our house, our home, you're not welcome there anymore." "Daniel, wait." Sarah reached for him again, desperation clear in her gesture. He stepped back, avoiding her touch. "You don't get to touch me. You lost that right. And Sarah." He met her eyes one final time. When our kids ask why their family fell apart, when Emma cries because daddy doesn't live with mommy anymore, when Jackson asks why we're not together, you tell them the truth. You tell them it's because their mother couldn't keep her wedding vows. Daniel made it exactly 23 steps before his legs started shaking. He'd maintained his composure through the confrontation, channeled the training that had kept him alive through 3 combat deployments, but now the adrenaline was crashing and reality was setting in. His marriage was over. His family was broken. And it was all playing out for the entertainment of strangers on the internet. He found a quiet corner near a departure gate, far from the coffee shop and its audience, and lowered himself into a plastic chair. His hands were trembling as he pulled out his phone. 17 missed calls from Sarah's number. She must have tried reaching him once she saw him walk away. 3 voicemails. He deleted them without listening. "Excuse me, sir." Daniel looked up to find the airport security guard who'd been recording earlier. The young man, probably mid-20s, held out a bottle of water. "Thought you might need this. I'm Jake, by the way. Army 2. Did a tour in Afghanistan before I got out. Thanks." Daniel accepted the water, his throat suddenly dry. "How bad is it? The video?" Jake grimaced. "Pretty bad, sir. It's spreading fast. But if it helps, the comments are all on your side. People are calling your wife out hard. And that Marcus guy? Someone already identified him, found his wife's Facebook page. She's been notified." Daniel closed his eyes. More collateral damage. His wife didn't deserve this. "Neither did you, Major." Jake sat down uninvited, but Daniel didn't mind the company. "Look, I know this is the worst day of your life, but you handled it with more grace than most men would. You didn't hit him, didn't cause a scene beyond what was already happening. You were a Marine the whole time." "Army," Daniel corrected automatically, then managed a weak smile. "But I appreciate the sentiment." His phone buzzed. A text from his mother-in-law, Sandra. "Daniel, Sarah just called me crying. She said something happened at the airport. Are you okay? Are the kids okay?" "The kids. God, the kids. Emma was 6, Jackson was 4. How do you explain this to them? How do you tell your daughter that mommy loves her but broke daddy's heart? How do you teach your son about honor and commitment when the person who was supposed to model it failed so spectacularly?" He typed back, "The kids are fine, still with you. I'm fine physically. Sarah and I are getting divorced. It's not my story to tell, but she was unfaithful. I'm sorry you're caught in the middle of this." The response came quickly. "Oh Daniel. I'm so sorry. The kids can stay with me as long as needed. Come by whenever you're ready. And Daniel, for what it's worth, I always knew you were too good for her." That last line almost broke him. Sandra had been more of a mother to him than his own, especially after his parents passed away in a car accident his 2nd year of marriage. She'd been there for every deployment send-off and welcome home. She'd watched the kids during his training exercises. She'd been family in every way that mattered. And now he was losing her too. "You got somewhere to go?" Jake asked, watching him with concern. "Someone who can sit with you?" "No." The word came out hollow. Daniel's closest friends were military, most deployed, some stationed across the country. His brother lived in Seattle with his own family. He'd become so focused on his career, so dedicated to the mission, that his personal support network had withered to almost nothing. Sarah had been his person. Sarah and the kids had been his entire world outside of the army. Now that world was ash. "Okay, here's what's going to happen," Jake said with the kind of authority that suggested he'd dealt with crisis situations before. "You're going to finish that water. Then I'm driving you to a hotel. Nice one, not some sketchy motel. You're going to check in, take a shower, and sleep. Tomorrow, when your head is clearer, you call a lawyer. You call your command and inform them what happened. Because trust me, sir, they're going to see this video eventually. You get ahead of it. I can't afford a nice hotel. I was planning to just go home." "The house you shared with her?" "Absolutely not." Jake pulled out his own phone. "My sister manages a Marriott near the base. Military discount. She'll take care of you. And Major. Take it from someone who's been there, different situation, but same betrayal. You don't want to be in that house tonight, surrounded by memories and her things. You need neutral ground to process this." Daniel wanted to argue, to insist he was fine, that he didn't need help. But the truth was, he didn't know what he needed. For the first time in his adult life, he had no mission, no objective, no clear path forward. He was lost. "All right," he agreed finally. "But I need to make some calls first." The first was to his commanding officer, Colonel Mitchell. The conversation was brief and painful. Mitchell had already seen the video, of course he had, and while sympathetic, his first concern was the Army's image and Daniel's fitness for duty. There would be an informal inquiry, counseling sessions, evaluations. Standard procedure when a soldier's personal life became public spectacle. The second call was to a lawyer, Mark Davidson, who'd handled the wills for several officers on base. Mark agreed to meet him tomorrow morning, his voice gentle but professional as he outlined the immediate steps: documentation, evidence gathering, custody arrangements. Custody. The word felt like broken glass in Daniel's mouth. The third call was the hardest. He dialed his brother Peter's number, and when the familiar voice answered, Daniel found he couldn't speak. The words stuck in his throat, tangled with emotions he'd been suppressing. "Dan? You there? The call's breaking up. She cheated on me." The words tumbled out. "I came home early to surprise her. Caught her at the airport with another guy. It's all over the internet. The marriage is over." The silence on the other end lasted 3 heartbeats. "I'm booking a flight," Peter said. "Tonight if possible. Tomorrow morning at the latest. Don't argue. You need family right now, and I'm all you've got." After hanging up, Daniel sat in that airport chair for another hour, watching planes take off through the massive windows. People rushed past with their own dramas, their own destinations. Life continued despite his world ending. The airport didn't stop functioning because Major Daniel Crawford's heart was broken. Eventually, Jake returned and drove him to the hotel as promised. The room was clean, anonymous, perfect for someone who needed to disappear for a while. Daniel sat on the edge of the bed, still in his uniform, and finally allowed himself to feel everything he'd been holding back. 3 days later, Daniel sat in his lawyer's office, reviewing documents that would officially end his marriage. The papers were clinical, reducing 8 years of history to property divisions and custody arrangements. Mark Davidson had been thorough, gathering evidence that would ensure Daniel got primary custody of Emma and Jackson, a goal Sarah hadn't even contested. "She knows she can't fight this," Mark explained, pushing a manila folder across his desk. "The video has over 5 million views now. Her employer, the hospital, has placed both her and Marcus Hoffman on administrative leave pending an ethics review. Apparently, they violated workplace conduct policies. She's in no position to argue about custody or asset division." Daniel stared at the folder without opening it. What about his wife? Marcus's wife? Jennifer Hoffman filed for divorce the same day the video went viral. From what I hear through the grapevine, she's taking him for everything he's got. Their prenup had an infidelity clause. Mark allowed himself a small, satisfied smile. Sometimes karma works fast. "There's no satisfaction in it," Daniel said quietly. "Another family destroyed because 2 people couldn't keep their pants on. His kids are probably going through the same hell mine are about to experience. With respect, Major, your kids will be fine because they have you. You're a good father. Everyone who's spoken to me about you says the same thing. When you're home, you're present. You coach Jackson's T-ball team. You never miss Emma's dance recitals. Sarah's narrative that you were an absent father? Nobody's buying it. Daniel's phone buzzed. A text from Peter, who'd extended his visit indefinitely. Kids want to know if you're coming to the park. Emma says she has something important to tell you. He'd been staying at Sandra's house with the kids, sleeping on her couch while Emma and Jackson tried to understand why Mommy wasn't there. They'd seen her once, supervised by Sandra, and it had been awkward and painful. Emma had asked point blank why Mommy was with that man from the airport, and Sarah had no good answer. I need to go, Daniel said, standing. My kids need me. Before you leave, Mark held up a hand. I wanted you to know something. We've had 17 media requests for interviews with you. Good Morning America, CNN, Fox News, all the major outlets. They want your story. There's also a GoFundMe someone started for your legal fees that's already raised $40,000. And this, he handed Daniel a stack of letters, easily 100 thick. These started arriving at the base. People supporting you. Veterans sharing their own stories. Parents thanking you for showing their sons what integrity looks like. Daniel stared at the letters, overwhelmed. I didn't do anything extraordinary. I didn't hit him. I didn't lose control. In today's world, that is extraordinary. You became a symbol, Major. A man who maintained his honor in the worst possible moment. People are responding to that. Mark paused. I'm not saying you should do the interviews, that's your call, but there's something to be said for controlling your narrative. Right now, everyone knows Sarah's version from the video. Maybe they should hear yours. I'll think about it, Daniel said, though he had no intention of going on television. His private pain wasn't entertainment, no matter how many people thought they deserved access to it. The park was a 15-minute drive from the lawyer's office. Daniel found his kids immediately, Emma in her favorite purple jacket, Jackson wearing his Spider-Man shirt. Peter was pushing Jackson on the swings while Sandra sat on a bench nearby, reading. Daddy! Emma ran to him, and Daniel caught her, lifting her into the air the way he always did. She giggled, then grew serious. Daddy, I need to tell you something important. Okay, sweetheart. What is it? She leaned close to his ear, her voice dropping to a whisper. I'm not mad at you about you and Mommy. Grandma Sandra explained that sometimes grown-ups can't stay together, and that's okay. But Daddy. She pulled back to look him in the eyes. I'm mad at Mommy. She made you sad. And she lied. We're not supposed to lie. Daniel's throat tightened. 6 years old, and already navigating moral complexity that would challenge adults. Sweetheart, it's okay to feel mad. But Mommy still loves you and Jackson very much. What happened between Mommy and me doesn't change that. Uncle Peter says you're a hero for not punching that man. Emma's tone suggested she'd expected violence. He said real heroes know when not to fight. Uncle Peter's right. Daniel set her down gently. Violence isn't the answer to most problems, even when we're very, very angry. Jackson abandoned the swings and ran over, launching himself at Daniel's legs. Daddy, are you staying now? Like, staying? Not just visiting. Yeah, buddy. I'm staying. I'm home for good. I'm going to take some time off from the army to be with you and Emma. Forever. Jackson's eyes were hopeful. Not forever. Daddy still has to work. But for a while, you've got me all day, every day. We can do whatever you want. Zoo. Museum. Beach. Beach. Both kids shouted simultaneously. That evening, after the kids were in bed at Sandra's house, Daniel sat on the back porch with his brother. The night was clear, stars visible despite the suburban light pollution. For the first time in days, Daniel felt something close to peace. You're going to be okay, Peter said, handing him a beer. It doesn't feel like it now, But you will. You're one of the strongest people I know. I don't feel strong. I feel like I've been run over by a tank. Strength isn't about not feeling pain. It's about still functioning despite it. You're taking care of your kids. You're handling the divorce with dignity. You're not falling apart. Peter took a long drink. That video, Dan. I've watched it probably 50 times. You had every right to lose it. Nobody would have blamed you. But you didn't. You held your ground, kept your composure, and walked away. That's real strength. I wanted to hit him, Daniel admitted. God, I wanted to destroy him. The only thing that stopped me was knowing the kids would see it someday. I couldn't let them watch their father become a monster, even if I had justification. That's called being a father. Being a good man. It's who you've always been. They sat in companionable silence for a while. Inside, Sandra was cleaning up dinner dishes, humming softly. The kids were giggling in their room, probably not actually sleeping yet. Ordinary sounds of domestic life. Now his responsibility alone. I got a call from Colonel Mitchell, Daniel said eventually. He's recommending me for a recruiting position at the base. No deployments, regular hours, home every night. Said I've served my time in combat zones, that I've more than earned a stateside assignment where I can focus on my kids. You taking it? Yeah, I think I am. The kids need stability. They need to know I'm not going anywhere. Daniel paused. Sarah sent me an email. Apologizing. Explaining. Asking for another chance. What did you say? Nothing. There's nothing to say. Trust, once broken like that, doesn't just heal. She made her choices. She chose Marcus over our family, over our vows, over everything we built together. I can't unknow that. Can't unsee her in his arms. Can't forget that while I was in the desert, missing my family, she was playing house with someone else. Peter nodded. You deserve better. The kids deserve better. They do. And I'm going to make sure they get it. I'm going to show Emma what to expect from a partner someday. I'm going to teach Jackson how to treat people with respect and honor. I'm going to be present, engaged, there for every moment I possibly can be. Daniel's voice strengthened with conviction. Sarah was right about one thing, I was gone a lot. But that ends now. From here on out, my kids come first. My career, my pride, my reputation. None of it matters more than those two sleeping upstairs. That's the spirit. Peter raised his beer bottle. To new beginnings. Daniel clinked his bottle against his brother's. To new beginnings. Later, alone in the guest room Sandra had prepared for him, Daniel opened his laptop and saw the video one more time. It had been modified, edited, shared, turned into memes and reaction videos. His face at the moment of recognition had become a symbol. When your worst fear is confirmed, read one caption. But he also saw the messages. Thousands of them. Veterans who'd been betrayed. Spouses who'd remained faithful through deployments. People who'd been cheated on and shared their stories. Men thanking him for showing restraint. Women praising his dignity. Parents saying they'd shown the video to their teenage children as a lesson in integrity. His private disaster had become public testimony. It wasn't what he would have chosen, but perhaps some good could come from it after all. Daniel closed the laptop and opened the journal Mark had suggested he keep. Documentation for therapy, for the custody case, for his own healing. He wrote, Day 3 post-discovery. The pain is still sharp, but the kids ground me. They're my purpose now. Sarah's betrayal destroyed our marriage, but it won't destroy me. I'm choosing to move forward with honor, to model strength and dignity for Emma and Jackson. This isn't the life I planned, but it's the life I have, and I'll make it good. I'll make sure my children know they're loved, valued, and secure. That's my mission now. And unlike my marriage, it's one I won't fail. He closed the journal and turned off the light. Through the window, he could see stars. The same stars he'd navigated by in the desert. The same constellations that had watched over human drama for millennia. His story was unique to him but also ancient, timeless. Betrayal, heartbreak, survival, resilience. It was the human condition. And tomorrow, he'd wake up and do it again. Be a father. Be honorable. Be strong. That was enough. That had to be enough.